The rain came down in sheets, cold and unforgiving, like the world itself had turned against me. I stood there on the cracked sidewalk, duffel bag heavy at my feet, water streaming off my hood and mixing with the hot tears I couldn't stop. 23 years old, and in one single afternoon my entire life had been ripped away. That morning I had walked into the office like any other day, Emma, the reliable junior accountant everyone trusted. Then, security was suddenly at my desk. "You need to come with us." My boss, Mr. Harlan, wouldn't even look me in the eye as he slid the termination papers across the table. "Embezzlement, Emma. The missing $30,000. We have proof." Proof? I had never touched a cent. I begged, I cried, I swore on my mother's grave that I was innocent. But the security footage they showed someone who looked exactly like me transferring funds at my computer sealed it. I was escorted out with my personal things in a cardboard box. The whole office, staring. By evening, the landlord had changed the locks on my tiny apartment. "Company called me," he muttered. "You're a risk." My own mother, when I called her from a payphone, said the words that broke me completely. "If they fired you, there must be a reason, sweetheart. You can't stay here and drag us down." The door slammed in my face. No family, no friends who believed me. Just the rain, the suitcase, and a hollow ache where my future used to be. How could one accusation destroy everything I had worked so hard for? I dragged my bag down the empty street, shoes squelching, wondering if this was the moment my life truly ended. The next weeks were a blur of pure survival. Shelters with their sour smell of disinfectant and quiet shame. Park benches that left my back screaming. Nights in my old beat-up car until the gas ran out, and the police told me to move on. Hunger gnawed at me constantly. Shame burned hotter than the cold. Every day I replayed the security footage in my mind. How had someone made it look so real? I applied for jobs, but no one wanted the girl whose name was now all over the local news. Accountant. Fired. For theft. My phone died more often than it worked. In the public library, hiding from the wind, I asked myself the same questions over and over. Was I really that stupid? That untrustworthy? Or had someone wanted me gone this badly? One freezing evening, scrolling government surplus listings on a library computer, my eyes stopped on a single line. Dilapidated 2-story farmhouse on 5 acres. Starting bid, $5. Buyer must complete basic repairs within 90 days or property reverts. $5. The photos showed a solid old house with a wide porch, tall windows, and an overgrown yard. Even if the roof sagged and paint peeled like old skin, it was an hour outside the city. Insane. But in that moment, with nowhere left to go, it felt like the only door still open in the world. I scraped together the last of my money, odd jobs, washing dishes, selling my winter coat, and won the bid. Transfer fees brought the total to just under $900. 2 days later, I was on a rattling county bus, bag clutched to my chest, heart hammering with equal parts, terror and fragile hope. The streets had already tried to kill me. This $5 house might be my last chance at a roof, even if it was falling down. When the bus dropped me off at the end of a long dirt road, the house looked worse than the pictures. Vines choked the porch rails. Boards covered half the windows. The front door groaned like it hadn't been opened in years. I pushed inside and the smell hit me: damp wood, dust, and something faintly metallic. I dropped my bag on the warped floor and sank to my knees, sobbing with relief. Walls, a ceiling. Mine. For the first time in weeks, I wasn't at the mercy of the rain. Fixing the house became my entire world. I scrubbed decades of grime from the kitchen counters until my knuckles bled. I patched roof leaks with plastic and tar I bought cheap at the hardware store. Nights I lay on my sleeping bag, flashlight beside me, listening to the wind howl through the cracks and the occasional strange thump from upstairs that made my skin crawl. But every board I nailed down, every wall I wiped clean, gave me back a tiny piece of dignity I thought I'd lost forever. In the third week, while clearing out the old study, I found a locked drawer in the massive oak desk. Inside were company documents, my company's documents. Payroll records, the exact same missing $30,000 logged under fake vendor names. My hands shook as I flipped through them. Then I found a small USB drive taped to the bottom of the drawer. That night, with the power flickering from the storm outside, I plugged it into my old laptop. The first video was security footage, the real footage. It showed Mr. Harlan himself at my desk after hours, wearing a wig that matched my hair, typing on my keyboard. Another clip showed him laughing with a man I didn't recognize, counting cash. Handwritten notes. Frame the new girl. She's too honest. Perfect scapegoat. The house had belonged to him all along. He had bought it years ago under a fake name to hide assets, then deliberately let it fall into disrepair and listed it for $5 when the investigation got too close, hoping no one would ever connect the dots. But fate, or maybe something kinder, brought me here. I kept digging. Behind a false panel in the bedroom closet, I found a metal box. Inside, the original cash bundles, still wrapped, and a signed confession letter dated 2 weeks before the auction. If anyone finds this, tell them Emma was innocent. I couldn't live with it anymore. He had died of a heart attack the week after listing the house. No one claimed the property. It sat waiting. For me. The storm outside matched the one inside my chest. I sat on the dusty floor, letter trembling in my hands, tears falling freely. The man who destroyed my life had left the very proof that could save it. With the USB and documents, I contacted a lawyer the next morning. The evidence was ironclad. Charges against me were dropped within days. The company issued a public apology. I even received a small settlement enough to finish restoring the house properly. Fresh white paint on the porch. Flowers blooming where weeds once grew. Windows that finally let in sunlight instead of shadows. I stood on that same porch months later, the wind gentle now, carrying the scent of new beginnings. I wasn't the broken girl in the rain anymore. I was Emma, the one who fought her way back from rock bottom with nothing but $5 and a desperate heart. The house that was supposed to be my hiding place became my home. The betrayal that nearly killed me gave me the truth that set me free. Sometimes the darkest places hold the brightest proof. If you're out there carrying a weight that isn't yours, wrongly accused, cast out, hopeless, keep going. Your $5 house, your hidden truth, your second chance. It might be waiting in the last place you expect. Thank you for listening to my story. What would you do if you found proof of your innocence in the walls of a house you bought for $5? Tell me below. I read every comment. And remember, sometimes the rain has to fall so you can finally see the light. I stood on that same porch months later, the wind gentle now, carrying the scent of new beginnings. I wasn't the broken girl in the rain anymore. I was Emma, the one who fought her way back from rock bottom with nothing but $5 and a desperate heart. The house that was supposed to be my hiding place became my home. The betrayal that nearly killed me gave me the truth that set me free.